One look is all it takes to lose everything.
Have you ever made a promise you could not keep? Welcome to our English journey. Today we will explore a very old and beautiful story. It is a tale about love and a magical bird. It is also a story about a broken promise. This is the story of the crane wife. Listen carefully and learn with us. Long ago, in a quiet farming village, lived a poor young man named Yasu. Yasu was a gentle and kind person. He worked hard in his small field every day. He did not have much money or food, but he always shared what he had with others. The villagers loved him for his very good and pure heart. Winter came to the village. The wind blew cold and the snow fell fast. The ground became a white blanket. Yasu stayed inside his small wooden house. He sat near the fire to keep warm. He felt very lonely during the long winter nights. He wished he had a family to share his small and quiet home with. One cold morning, Yasu walked outside to find some wood for his fire. The snow was deep and his boots sank into the white ground. Suddenly, he heard a sad sound. It was a cry for help. Yasu looked around the white field. He saw something moving in the cold snow. He walked closer to see what it was. It was a beautiful white crane. The large bird was lying on the cold ground. An arrow was stuck in its wing. The poor crane was hurt and could not fly. Red blood stained its bright white feathers. Yasu felt very sad for the beautiful bird. He gently picked up the crane and carried it into his warm house. Yasu placed the crane near the warm fire. He carefully pulled the arrow out of its wing. He washed the wound with warm water. He wrapped a soft cloth around the hurt wing. He gave the bird some of his own food. He stayed awake all night to watch over the crane. He wanted the bird to live. The next morning the crane looked much better. It stood up and stretched its wings. The wound was healing well. Yasu smiled and opened his wooden door. He knew the bird belonged in the sky. The crane looked at Yasu for a long moment. Then it spread its wings and flew high into the cold winter sky. Yasu felt happy but also a little sad. His house was quiet and lonely again. Night came and the wind howled outside. Suddenly he heard a soft knock on his door. He wondered who could be visiting him on such a cold and dark night. He walked to the door and slowly pulled it open to look outside. A beautiful young woman stood in the snow. She wore a simple white dress. Her hair was dark and her eyes were very bright. She looked cold and tired. She asked Yasu if she could stay in his house for the night. She said she was lost in the storm. Yasu quickly invited her inside to get warm. The woman told Yasu her name was Su. She sat by the fire and warmed her cold hands. Yasu gave her a hot bowl of soup. Su smiled and thanked him for his great kindness. They talked for many hours. Yasu felt a warm feeling in his heart. He was not lonely anymore. He enjoyed her sweet voice. The next day the snowstorm was still very strong. Su could not leave the house. She helped Yasu clean the rooms and cook the food. They worked together perfectly. Yasu realized he loved having her there. When the storm finally ended, Su did not leave. She told Yasu she had no family and no place to go. Yasu asked Su to stay with him forever. He asked her to be his wife. Su agreed with a bright and happy smile. They had a simple wedding in the village. The villagers celebrated with them. Everyone thought they were a perfect match. Yasu and Su were very poor, but they were very happy living together every day. Time passed and the winter grew colder. Their food supply became very low. Yasu worried about how they would survive. He did not want his beautiful wife to go hungry. Su saw the worry on his face. She told him not to be sad. She said she had a special skill. She could weave beautiful cloth to sell. Su asked Yasu to build her a weaving room. She gave him one very important rule. She told him he must never look inside the room while she was weaving. She made him promise to obey this rule. Yasu promised he would never look inside. He trusted his wife and wanted her to do her work in perfect peace. Su went into the small weaving room and closed the door. Yasu heard the sound of the wooden loom working. Click, clack, clack, clack. The sound continued for 3 days and 3 nights. Su did not come out to eat or drink. Yasu worried about her health. But he remembered his promise and did not open the door. Finally, the door opened. Su walked out looking very tired and very thin. But in her hands, she held the most beautiful cloth Yasu had ever seen. It was soft and bright and shining. It looked like the cloth was made of pure light. Yasu was amazed by the beautiful work. He asked her how she made it. Su only smiled and told him to take the cloth to the market. She said he should sell it for a high price. Yasu traveled to the town market. A rich merchant saw the cloth and was amazed. He paid Yasu a large bag of gold coins for it. Yasu ran home feeling very excited and very happy. With the gold coins, Yasu and Su bought plenty of food. They bought warm blankets and new clothes. They lived very comfortably for a long time. They did not have to worry about the cold winter anymore. Yasu thought they would be happy forever. But soon, the gold coins started to run out. They needed more money again. Yasu asked Su if she could weave another piece of cloth. Su looked a little sad, but she agreed. She reminded him of his promise. He must never look inside the room. Yasu promised again. Su went into the weaving room and closed the door. The familiar sound of the loom began to echo through the small house. This time, Su stayed in the room for 4 days. When she came out, she looked even more tired and pale. She handed Yasu another beautiful piece of cloth. This one was even more amazing than the first. It had beautiful patterns of flying birds. Yasu took it to the market and sold it for even more gold. Now Yasu had a lot of money. He started to change. He wanted more things. He bought a bigger house and fancy clothes. He forgot about his simple and happy life. He spent the gold coins very fast. Soon the money was gone again. He went to his wife and asked her to weave cloth one more time. Su looked very weak and very sad. She told Yasu that weaving took a lot of her energy. She said she could only do it one last time. She begged him to remember his promise. He must not open the door. Yasu promised quickly. He only thought about the gold coins he would get from the rich merchant. Su entered the weaving room for the 3rd time. The door closed and the loom started working. 5 days passed and Su did not come out. Yasu became very impatient. He wanted the cloth so he could get his gold. He started to wonder how she made such beautiful fabric. Curiosity began to grow in his greedy mind. Yasu walked to the door of the weaving room. He listened to the sound of the loom. He thought about the secret inside. Why was it forbidden to look? He convinced himself that one small peek would not hurt. He forgot his promise to the woman who loved him. He placed his hand on the wooden door handle. Very slowly, Yasu opened the door just a tiny bit. He looked through the small crack. He expected to see his wife weaving thread, but he did not see Su. Instead, he saw a beautiful white crane sitting at the wooden loom. It was the same crane he had saved in the snow many long winter months ago. Yasu watched in complete shock. The crane was pulling white feathers from its own body. It was weaving its own feathers into the beautiful cloth. The poor bird was bleeding and looked very weak. It had almost no feathers left. Yasu realized the terrible truth. His sweet wife Su was actually the crane he had rescued before. Yasu gasped loudly. The crane heard the noise and stopped weaving. It turned its long neck and looked at the door. The crane saw Yasu watching. Suddenly, the bird transformed back into Su. She was covered in blood and looked very sick. She looked at Yasu with tears in her eyes. Her heart was completely shattered and broken. Su spoke in a very soft and sad voice. She told Yasu she was the crane he had saved. She had become a human to thank him and be his loving wife. She wanted to make him happy forever. But he had broken his promise. He had looked inside the room. Now her big secret was finally revealed. Because her secret was known, she could no longer stay in the human world. She had to leave him forever. Su handed Yasu the final piece of cloth. It was the most beautiful fabric in the entire world. It was woven with her deep love and her great pain. Yasu cried and begged her not to go away. Yasu said he was very sorry. He promised he would change. He said he did not care about the gold or the money anymore. He only wanted his dear wife. But it was too late. A broken promise cannot be easily fixed. Magic has very strict rules. Su kissed his cheek one last time and stepped back slowly. Right before his eyes, Su transformed back into the white crane. The bird looked very weak, but it spread its wings. It flew out of the open window and up into the cold sky. Yasu ran outside and called her name loudly. But the crane did not turn around. It flew away over the snow-covered mountains forever. Yasu was left all alone in his big, empty house. He had the beautiful cloth and he could get a lot of gold. But he did not want to sell it. He realized that money could never buy true happiness. He had lost the most precious thing in his life because of his greed and his broken promise. Every day, Yasu looked up at the sky. He hoped to see the white crane flying back to him, but the crane never returned. Yasu lived the rest of his life in deep sadness. He kept the final piece of cloth as a reminder of his beautiful wife. He remembered her sweet voice and her very kind heart. This story is very sad, but it teaches us many important lessons. The first lesson is about the danger of greed. When Yasu was poor, he was happy and kind. But when he got money, he wanted more and more. His greed made him forget what was truly important. It made him push his wife to work too hard. The second lesson is about the importance of keeping promises. A promise is a special bond of trust between two people. When you break a promise, you break that trust. Yasu promised he would never look inside the room, but his curiosity and greed made him break his word. This mistake cost him his true love and happiness. The story also shows the power of gratitude and sacrifice. The crane was so thankful to Yasu for saving its life. It sacrificed its own feathers and health to make him happy. True love often involves sacrifice. But we must never take advantage of someone who loves us. We must appreciate their hard work and their kind actions. Let us look at some English words from the story. The word rescue means to save someone from danger. Yasu rescued the crane from the cold snow. The word gratitude means feeling thankful. The crane showed great gratitude to Yasu. The word sacrifice means giving up something important for someone else. Su made a huge sacrifice for Yasu. Another important word is greed. Greed is a strong desire for more money or things. Greed changed Yasu and made him make bad choices. The word promise means telling someone you will definitely do something. Keeping a promise is very important. The word secret means something that is hidden from others. Su had a very big and magical secret. We can also learn about emotions. Yasu felt lonely before he met Su. Lonely means feeling sad because you are by yourself. When they married, they felt joy. Joy is a feeling of great happiness. At the end, Yasu felt regret. Regret means feeling sorry about a mistake you made in the past. Regret is a very heavy feeling. Notice how the story uses the seasons to show feelings. Winter is cold and lonely. This matches Yasu at the beginning of the story. The warm fire inside represents the love and comfort Su brought to his life. The cold winter sky at the end shows the return of his deep sadness and his lonely life without his wife. Think about how you would feel if you were Yasu. Would you open the door to look inside the room? It is hard to resist curiosity. But true trust means believing someone without needing to see everything. Trust is the foundation of any good relationship. Without trust, love cannot survive for a very long time in the real world. Think about Su and her pure heart. She gave everything she had to make her husband happy. She represents nature and magic. When humans are greedy, they often destroy beautiful things in nature. The story reminds us to respect nature and the gifts it gives us. We must not be greedy and take more than we really need. Have you ever felt regret like Yasu? We all make mistakes and break promises sometimes. The important thing is to learn from our mistakes. We must try to be better people. We must value the people who love us. We should show them gratitude every single day. Do not wait until they are gone to appreciate their true worth. Stories like the Crane Wife have been told for hundreds of years. People tell these stories to teach children how to behave. They are called fairy tales or folk tales. Even though the magic is not real, the lessons are very real. They help us understand human nature and the consequences of our daily actions and our personal choices. Learning English through stories is a wonderful method. When you listen to a story, you learn new words in a natural way. You also learn how sentences are put together. You can practice your listening skills. Try to retell this story to a friend in English. It will help you remember the new words and the grammar rules. You can also write down the new words in a notebook. Write a sentence for each new word. For example, you can write, "I promise to study English every day." Or you can write, "The brave firefighter rescued the little cat." Practicing like this will make your English vocabulary very strong. You will speak much better very soon. We hope you enjoyed this beautiful and tragic story today. The tale of the Crane Wife is one that stays in your heart forever. It reminds us to be kind and to keep our promises. It teaches us to value love more than gold or money. Always remember to appreciate the wonderful people you have in your life. Thank you for joining our English learning journey. We love sharing these classic tales with you. If you liked this story, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps our channel grow and reach more students around the world. We want to help everyone learn English through the magic of beautiful and timeless fairy tales and legends. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel. We have many more amazing stories to share with you. We will explore magical forests and brave heroes. We will learn many new English words together. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. Your support means the world to us and keeps our creative journey going. Please leave a comment below. Tell us what you thought about Yasu and his broken promise. What would you do if you found a magic bird? We love reading your comments and practicing English with you. Until next time, keep listening and keep learning. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the next magical story.